When should you talk to HR? These days, most HR teams really brand themselves as employee experience. We are here to be your friend. But then people get burned. So in today's video, I want to dive into what you should absolutely talk to HR about, when you should not be calling HR, and when you should deal with HR, but proceed with caution. Hello, my friend. I'm so glad that you are back to hang with me here today. If you're new, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Jennifer, and I'm your new career bestie. Around here, we talk about career success, navigating obstacles at work, toxic workplaces, all of those fun things that you need to really succeed at work. If you're like, yes, I need that in my life, tap the subscription button, set the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release a new video. Also, I'm literally on LinkedIn every day because I kind of live there. I don't have much of a life. But I also try to hang out on Instagram. So if you're either or both of those places, let's go hang out over there too. Now, without further ado, let's tap that like button, raise the positive vibes, and let's talk about HR. Let's start off with when you should talk to HR and where there's really no one else in the organization that you can talk to except for HR. And for that, we look towards the functions of HR. So anything relating to hiring people, talent development, compensation, performance management, that all is something that you are going to be dealing with HR on. And the most obvious and safest one is benefits. So if you have questions about your benefits, if you need to make adjustments, if there's like tax forms and whatnot that need to be adjusted, HR is going to be your go-to resource. And they are going to be very helpful with these things. Also, if you're looking for employee resources and maybe they're not in a centralized place, you're having a hard time finding them. Say, for example, you want to take advantage of the employee assistance program, but you don't know where to find information. Or you're just looking for the employee handbook. Asking HR for help pointing you towards any of those things or, connecting you with the right people is something that they are there for. One thing that I've also seen HR teams be a good resource for is to discuss internal growth paths. So if you're looking to transition to another role, or if you're looking to up level in yours, they can be helpful. I don't always honestly think that they are the most helpful. Typically, your manager is going to be a very good resource for this as well. In addition, just talking to other people on the team that you're trying to move to and whatnot. But from a whole org design and competencies and stuff like that, HR definitely is going to be able to share with you the stuff that is on paper. Of course, in terms of overall career design and career success, you're not going to go to them for that. Now, finally, one of the most important things that legal does, at least from the company's perspective, is ensure legal compliance with employment laws for local, regional, national levels and all of that stuff. They're also going to be administering for programs such as FMLA and things like that. So really, if you feel like your legal rights are being infringed, HR should be the team that you go to. But put a pin there, we're coming back to it. But first, we need to talk about this. When you should not talk to HR. And honestly, one of the trends that I've seen, and this isn't true at all companies and with all HR teams, so don't get it twisted, but I do see a lot of them kind of marketing themselves as being an advocate for the employee when they're really not. The human resources team is a function of the business. They work for the business and they are there to protect the assets of the business and to, prevent the company from being sued. With that in mind, do take into consideration, especially because they're coming at it from a legal compliance perspective for a lot of things, that if you're bringing something like interpersonal issues to them, it goes from, I'm just looking for some advice to, there's a serious issue and now it's being treated by the business. So don't go to HR, at least not as your first stop, for something like interpersonal issues. If you're having conflict with a coworker, do your best to resolve it on your own. HR really should be your last stop, if it even is a stop in situations like this. Same goes in terms of navigating office politics and kind of complaining about difficult coworkers. One thing that's come up a lot in the comment section on my videos is instances where people have gone to HR to complain about their boss. And of course, HR is gonna talk to your boss about that, and that can create a weird situation for you. Now, I don't wanna dive into that because that requires, that deserves a little bit of discussion. So that is actually going to be the topic for my next video. So if you are in that boat, or if you wanna know why you shouldn't necessarily be talking to HR about your boss, at least not straight away, make sure that you are subscribed so that you get that video as soon as it comes out. While sometimes HR can give some insights, And I've definitely seen where human resource business partners or HRBPs partner with managers and coach them through navigating difficult situations, especially with team members. But remember, they're doing that from the lens of company protection and making sure that they're in compliance with laws and regulations. And the thing is, if you go and you ask your HR person how to deal with some drama with a coworker, they don't necessarily know the best answer. They are not the experts in workplace politics, and they're not necessarily the experts in career success either. This is something that you really have to take into your own hands, and that's where you would work with someone like a career success coach, such as myself, in order to help you map what you want from your career, define your career success, and figure out your pathway to actually achieve it. And the first thing that you need to do to chart this on your own is to really understand your unique awesomeness quotient, your UAQ. This is the thing that is going to make you stand out at work, help you make unignorable impact, and even help you build the right foundational relationships to accelerate and elevate your career. If you want to snag my free UAQ starter kit, it is in the link. The link thing is in the description bar down below. And that brings us now into the circumstances where you really should talk to HR, but you need to use some caution when you do so. When illegal behavior or behavior outside of the standards set by the organization is in place, and you can address it on your own, then you should be interacting with your HR team in order to assist you. And truly, most HR teams are going to assist you. And I truly believe that most companies want to make sure that they're doing the right thing, and they don't want those illegal antics and terrible antics happening within their organization. However, I would be remiss to say, especially with all of the stories that I've heard about times that people have been burned going to HR for these things, if you are going to HR, make sure that you are bringing your receipts. So have notes about what has happened, things that you have done in order to intervene, when the instances happen, who was there, what was said. You want as much information as possible. If you have any emails or instant message exchanges that are going to back it up, also gather that information, and you will want to provide that to them as well. The reason why I say to proceed with caution isn't because it's illegal and retaliation is illegal, so it's not going to happen. It's because even though these things are illegal, I have still seen instances where people have complained about being discriminated against at work, and they have ended up being retaliated against and losing their jobs as a result of making those complaints. Just because something is illegal, just because something is wrong, does not mean that it does not happen. So I want you to be prepared for anything if you ever are in that circumstance where you have to have that conversation with human resources. Ultimately, the thing that I want you to remember is that human resources works for the company. They are being paid for the company. They're there to protect the company in situations such as this. And there is a whole bunch of politics that really come into play. And ultimately, what I've seen frequently within organizations is that human resources wants to do the right thing for the vast majority. Honestly, HR people that I know are some of the best people. However, they may have pressures and they might not actually have the authority to make decisions. They might be overridden by leadership. They might have a toxic leader in place, which I've heard a lot of those stories as well. So by no means am I telling you not to report illegal behavior. What I'm saying is be ready. Having a plan B, having an active job search or being ready to head into one, and maybe even consulting with a lawyer before it gets to that point to understand your rights and to be really, really clear in them can be something that is very helpful. Now, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper into what HR actually does and why HR is not your friend, I want you to go and check out this video right now where I really spill the tea on that. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, if it helped you know when you should talk to HR, all of that stuff, give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and it makes you my favorite career bestie. As always, my friend, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.